sound went down. The bill calls for what?
The bill is called the Protect to Serve Act.
Okay.
It's caused a lot of on Twitter and social media because it pretty much came out of what seems to be nowhere. No one understands why they pretty much implemented this piece of legislation, especially right now. And it's being called the Blue Lives Matter bill. And there are a lot of Blue Lives Matter bills and pieces of legislation that are being pushed through, which is extremely disheartening because we should be focusing on things like finding justice with some of these cases that we've experienced with police brutality, as well as just bringing up or focusing more on gun violence and gun legislation as regards to our country, and then also Black communities and gun violence, which are things that we're not really seeing. And so it's very difficult to see Black legislators do this. And then also, and how many times has it been where a Black person, quote unquote, assaulted an officer, and officers retaliated in a way that wasn't quite true. And there are already laws in place that protect police. So we're really confused as to why we've decided to implement this piece of legislation right now, when there's so many things happening.
Well, it's interesting that you raised it because there are already laws. None of us defend or advocate hurting police. And clearly there has not been in my research where if someone assaulted or harmed a policeman, they did not face justice. So you've got to ask why the Blue Lives Matter bill and why some Black congressional members voted for it. Has any of the people you point out in the Black caucus that voted for this explained why they would have this vote?
Currently, no, Reverend Sharpton. What hurts my heart the most is that most of these Black legislators I've known personally, some that I do know personally, some that we really worked with. The few that did not vote for this piece of legislation was, of course, Maxine Waters, Congressman Bobby Scott, and a few others. However, none are quite actually out there saying why they have not pushed this legislation. I'm very interested in seeing or hearing from quite a few. And one person that I want to hear from the most as regards to this piece of legislation is John Lewis himself. He has been very adamant, I know, in Atlanta, and been very, very involved politically and actively for decades. And so to hear him discuss why he supported this piece of legislation would mean the world to a lot of Black activists.
Now, the fact of the matter is that if you're going to deem acts against police as a hate crime and not deal with criminal prosecution of police that also participate in harming citizens for no reason, it seems to go in this whole spirit of the Trump era, where he even told police, don't even be nice to folk when you're arresting them. Don't put their heads down for getting in the cars. So it seems like they are, and again, that's what I opened the show saying, that's what I was saying in England yesterday, that you have to have a vision and a policy that runs counter to the era of Trump scapegoating and being polarizing. Not with it. No one is advocating doing something to police that I know, but you have the other side where they refuse to put in legislation in the Congress on police conduct, police behavior. President Obama had a commission studying policing that came out of all of our efforts in Ferguson, and they were moving toward requiring cameras on police, which many cities started doing, and moving forward. They shut all that down. So you have to ask, why are they doing this and not addressing the other side? When you see something like the video of them beating this young man in prison in Mesa, Arizona, these are law enforcement. They're not police, but they're law enforcement. And they move on, and unless someone put the video out, those correction officers would have walked away with no kind of accountability at all. And it was a Black cop beating this guy.
15K for
Reverend Sharpton, I think you raised a good point as regards to it's not the fact that we are against supporting or protecting our officers. I think the real issue here is that we're not seeing any action taken on citizens being protected from police. There are a lot of laws and legislation around or centered around the protection of officers, but nothing around the protection of people. Everyday citizens against police officers. And that begins to become extremely problematic because these are things that we've requested even during the presidential election. These are things that we've been requesting during, average town halls for their elections. We've done about it. Some of these black congressional leaders have even marched beside us and advocated with us on this exact same issue, yet they've been extremely silent on advocating for us on Capitol Hill, and that's extremely problematic. And so I think it's something that we should express our feelings on, but then also really pushing their hand on doing something about that as well. So I'm happy that you have decided to support this piece of legislation, but what about legislation that protects citizens against officers that we haven't seen happen yet?
And I think a lot of them are pressured by police unions, but that is why we must put and continue to put the political pressure that we will vote against you if you don't do something about what's happening to citizens by those police that break the law or that break the rules. Let's take a break. We'll come back, open up the phone, talk about this and other issues. So much to talk about. Keeping it real. Mary Pat Hector, Al Sharpton, 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. Sharpton, Hector, keeping it real. Be right back. Keeping it real. He keeps it real. Sharpton.